I never thought love would cost me my family, but then again, my family had been quietly costing me my soul for years. My name is Eleanor Whitmore, and I was born into money so old it smelled like dust and entitlement. Only child, private schools, summer homes, parents who donated to charities publicly and whispered slurs privately. Growing up, I learned early that silence was rewarded and questions were punished. We lived in a world where everyone looked like us, thought like us, and pretended that was just how things were. Until I met Jean-Luc. I met him on a random Tuesday. I almost skipped work. He was fixing an elevator in my office building, grease on his hands, humming softly in Creole. I remember thinking the sound didn't belong in that sterile place, and maybe neither did I. He looked up and smiled.
Elevator's gonna be stubborn today, like it knows it's Monday.
I laughed, really laughed. Not the polite, trained laugh I used at fundraisers, but the kind that surprises you. We started talking, then texting, then eating late dinners in tiny places my parents would have called questionable. He told me about Haiti, about losing his parents young, about his grandmother who raised him with prayers, discipline, and fierce love. He worked 2 jobs, sent money home, never complained. I fell in love slowly, and then all at once. When he proposed, I said yes before he finished the sentence. That's when reality came knocking. Jean-Luc worked in another state at the time, finishing a long-term contract. I was already planning a visit to my parents' estate to smooth things over. Against my better judgment, I sent them the address and told Jean-Luc to come straight there. I thought, naively, that if they met him, saw how kind and intelligent he was, they'd have no choice but to accept him. I was wrong. Jean-Luc arrived hours before I did. He later told me the house looked like something out of a movie. White columns, iron gates, security cameras everywhere. He rang the bell. Inside that house, my parents saw a black man standing on their porch. Instead of opening the door, they grabbed a baseball bat and attacked Lug, convinced he was a package thief. Jean-Luc had no choice but to defend himself, so he fought back. When I pulled into the driveway later, sirens screaming in my ears, I found chaos. My mother was on the lawn, clutching her arm. My father's face was split open, blood everywhere. And Jean-Luc, my Jean-Luc, was standing there, shaking, knuckles bruised, eyes wide with horror. What happened? Police were already there, guns half raised. Jean-Luc dropped to his knees instantly.
I didn't want to hurt them. They attacked me, I swear.
My father screamed from the stretcher.
That animal tried to rob us.
Something inside me snapped. That's a lie. You attacked him. You thought he was a thief because he's black. My mother looked at me like I'd slapped her.
Eleanor, don't you dare take his side.
I rode with them to the hospital. I watched nurses stitch my father's face, wrap my mother's arm. Jean-Luc wasn't charged. Security footage proved they struck first. But forgiveness was never on the table. At home, once the painkillers kicked in, the venom came out.
You will leave him.
He's dangerous. Savage blood.
He defended himself. Any man would.
Not a man like him.
They gave me an ultimatum, them or Jean-Luc. I chose love. That's when they decided to destroy him. My parents had money, power, friends in places ordinary people could never reach. They didn't need the truth. They only needed a story the police would believe. They paid people to lie. They paid people to plant evidence. They claimed Luc was planning a mass shooting. They said he was dangerous, that he hated America, that he wanted to kill innocent people. The police said they found weapons in his house. They said they found a written plan, a so-called manifesto with his name on it. They said they received an anonymous tip warning them to act fast. Within weeks, Jean-Luc was arrested. I still remember watching it on the news, my hands shaking. They called him a threat, a monster, a future killer. None of it was true. He was at work when they said he was planning it. There were witnesses, records, proof. None of that mattered. Fear spoke louder than facts. Hate moved faster than justice. They locked him away before he could even defend himself, and my parents sat at home, calm and satisfied, believing their money had finally erased the man I loved. The judge denied bail. When I saw him behind glass, my heart shattered.
They want to break me, so you'll leave.
I won't, I swear. Then his grandmother arrived. Maman Solange was small, bent with age, her eyes sharp as knives. She flew to the US with nothing but a small bag and grief etched into her bones. Jean-Luc had been her world, her provider, her son, her reason to wake up. She came to my parents' house with me. They laughed at her accent, at her clothes, at her grief.
Go back to whatever hole you crawled out of.
Maman Solange looked at them quietly. Then she spoke. She didn't shout. She didn't threaten. She cursed them. Not theatrically. Not dramatically. Just firmly. She said their bodies would betray their hatred. My parents burst out laughing. The curse worked fast. Within days, my mother's teeth began to rot and fall out. Dentists were baffled. Infections that made no sense. My father developed a stench. Sweet and rotten at once. No soap could remove it. Perfumes made it worse. They tried everything. Doctors, specialists, expensive treatments abroad. Nothing helped. People stopped inviting them to events. Board members resigned. Employees whispered. My parents locked themselves away after that. They stopped going out. They stopped seeing friends. They were angry, ashamed, and furious at the world. The smell never left them. It followed them everywhere. Thick, rotten, impossible to hide. Then, the guilt started to break them. I went to see them once. I smelled it before I even opened the door. My mother looked older, smaller. Her teeth were almost gone. She was crying when she saw me.
Please, make it stop. I can't live like this.
I looked her straight in the eyes. Tell the truth. She froze. My father started shaking. They both knew what I meant. That same night, they confessed. Everything. They admitted how they framed Jean-Luc, how they paid people, how they lied. It was all recorded and handed to the police. The moment they finished confessing, something strange happened. The smell disappeared. Just like that. But it was too late. Jean-Luc was released within days. All charges were dropped. The truth came out. The settlement was huge. More money than my parents ever wanted the world to know they had. Then the handcuffs came out. My parents were arrested for conspiracy, false accusations, and destroying an innocent man's life. Prison was not kind to them. Other inmates smelled weakness immediately. They mocked my parents' accents, their fear, their past arrogance. They laughed when my mother cried at night. They shoved my father in the cafeteria and called him names he once used on others. Karma didn't whisper. It screamed. A few weeks later, I sent them one photo. It was me and Jean-Luc on our wedding day, rings on our fingers, smiling, happy. The prison bars reflected on the screen when they opened it. Other inmates gathered around, laughing.
That's the man you tried to destroy? Guess love won.
I never visited again. Jean-Luc and I married quietly. His grandmother, Maman Solange, danced at our wedding with tears in her eyes and joy in her steps. Love didn't just win. It exposed everything rotten hiding behind money, power, and fake smiles. And if you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like, subscribe, and smash that button harder than my parents smashed their own reputation.